Welcome everyone to the 209 Journey podcast. I'm your host, Luis. And before we introduce our special guest tonight, as a usual reminder, if you haven't followed the 209 Journey on social media, give it a follow. You can find it at the 209 Journey on Facebook and Instagram. Also, check out the 209journey.com so you could listen and also watch the episodes on there as well. So, just another place to do so there, but it is the much more convenient spot, probably. So, if you don't want to download an app, if you don't want to visit YouTube, then you can go on the website and actually check out all the episodes on there. I got all the podcast episodes as well, going back to the very first one. But we did start doing video until this season 3. So the only video content is for season 3 and beyond, of course. Also, if you want to contact me on the 209journey.com, I have a form right there. If you have a guest in mind, if you yourself want to be a guest, fill that form out. Tell me more about yourself and what you have going on, and then I'll reach out back to you whenever I get a chance. Again, that is all on the website. Check it out again, the209journey.com. All right. Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my special guest tonight. He is an MC and the author of Rhymosaurs, a children's book that features a dinosaur called the Two-O-Ninosaur, which is really cool that he incorporated the 209 right there in the name of the dinosaur. But welcome, Orlando Zeps Molina, to the 209 Journey. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, dude. I'm chilling. I got my kids watching a movie. I hope they don't get in a fight, but whatever. That'll add some flavor to the podcast.
Yeah, glad to have you on. We were just talking offline that I got the chance to meet you over at Earth Day in Stockton earlier this year, and I was really happy that you remembered me as well, and that I had the Sonic the Hedgehog shirt, and you did a really awesome job with the emceeing that night. So glad to have you
Thanks,
on.
man. I had Sega Genesis when I was a kid, so Sonic was a big part of my childhood.
Oh yeah,
I love that game.
my opinion, best video game in the history of video games. But I know some people might dispute that with with other characters for sure.
It's up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about the books that you've authored and all that and emceeing, I know you told me that you moved to Stockton about 7 years ago from Brooklyn. So you did the whole like cross country move. So just tell me
Yeah.
more about what went down with the move and all that.
That was awesome. It was to start a family pretty much. My wife, she had family already here. So her brother was living here. They left LA and came back to Stockton because my sister-in-law grew up here. So she was Filipino, and she owns a dance studio called Elevate Dance Company. And she would invite us to see her and the kids, and we would come to Stockton a bunch. We would visit a bunch before we moved here, and I liked it, And then she just wanted to be around her mom and her brother, and we wanted to have kids, and the thought of having a house was very intriguing, so we did it. Yeah.
Well,
We made the big move.
Yeah.
And honestly, at first I didn't think it was gonna happen because I didn't want to leave until one of us got a job, and then my wife got a job. So it was pretty cool when she just kind of had the initiative to find a great job to help us start our new journey. Oh, 209 Journey, look at that.
Yeah.
So she helped financially because I worked at a job 9 to 5 and I quit to move. She got the new 9 to 5, and then I've been a stay-at-home dad for 7 years. Yeah.
Oh,
That's the best job in the world.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. No, that's quite the move going from like one side to the other. I'm sure, right? Like just like, how'd you guys do it? I'm always like intrigued by anyone who moves cross country, especially like coast to coast. Like, did you actually like do a road trip cross country or?
No, her job was off the hook and gave her a moving bonus, and they like paid for shipping all of our stuff that we kept. We got rid of a lot of stuff, but the stuff we did keep, they shipped it over on a big truck. They brought our car over and we flew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that was a big like, for real? They're gonna pay for that? All right. And I just wanted to try something different.
Yeah, hey, that's an amazing perk for sure. It's like, oh, we don't got to drive. Perfect. That's saves a lot. I can't imagine how much people would spend on gas going from like one side to the other, and not just that, but the time, right, and
Oh
figuring all
yeah,
that out,
yeah.
doing that. Well, how was it for you? Because I mean, moving from Brooklyn and like the city life over there to coming down to 209 in the Central Valley, it's a big shift, I'm sure, right? Like, how was it? Like, how was
The be-
the culture shock for you?
the beginning was a little of a shock just because it went from like the hustle and bustle of New York City to then this like more slower, sleepier town of California. California in general is just more laid back, chill. The way we think of like Valley Girls and Surfer Dudes and Saved by the Bell and 90210, that's what New Yorkers all think California is. And then you realize there's other parts of California like mountain towns and desert towns and little towns. It's not all LA or San Francisco. So that was at first a little bit of a shock, but it wasn't too crazy because my neighborhood in Brooklyn was still Brooklyn. It's very Brooklyn, but it was a little more chill and like suburban. It was called Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. And there's like little cute houses and condos and stuff. So you could live in that little bubble of that neighborhood. So when I came to Stockton, it felt like Brooklyn almost. Like the whole Stockton felt just like Brooklyn. Mind you, you have New York City, so it's almost like the Bronx is our Modesto, and then like Staten Island is like, I don't know, Fresno, and you know what I mean?
Oh,
That's how it felt. So I like just coming to Stockton felt like just going from Brooklyn to Stockton, not New York City to Stockton.
oh,
And
I
then
see.
it didn't feel as scary or whatever. I was like, I was ready to embrace it too because uh, New York's awesome. I loved it. I miss things about it, but moving here was the best thing probably that could have happened in my life for my wife and kids.
Oh, that's awesome. Man. I'm glad to
Right.
hear that for sure. Well, let's talk about your MC work. I want to know more about like where you got the interest in doing MCing and doing freestyle. Like, tell
Yeah.
us more about like how that got started.
So yeah, I started rapping with my neighborhood friends in Brooklyn. Simultaneously, I was in high school and I had to commute on the subway an hour and a half one way from Brooklyn to Midtown Manhattan to go to high school every day. So I had a 3-hour commute on the subway,
Wow.
which was a lot of listening to hip hop in my little Walkman and then a Discman I had. And when I had the Walkman and the Discman, I would get, I don't know if you remember this, Louis or Luis?
Oh, Luis.
Luis. Um, Cassette singles and like the single on a CD, it'd be like $1 or $2, and you would get the cool song from the radio, the remix, acapella, instrumental, and that was all that was on it. Four
Oh,
versions of the one song, and because it came with the instrumental and the beat, that was my first taste of having a beat in my ears. So I was practicing with my friends on these cassette singles using those beats from like the Beat Nuts and Wu Tang and Biggie and Nas, Mobb Deep, Hieroglyphics, some Cali stuff too. So I'm rapping at home with the homies on Avenue U. We were the Avenue U boys, and then at the same time rapping at high school with my crew in high school called 252, and it was two different kind of groups of people. So I kind of liked that I was rhyming with two different kinds of crews because then it was like Brooklyn vibes, but then my school was in Manhattan and every kid was from every part of the city. So I was getting all of this info about Queens and the Bronx. I was going to Staten Island. I was gallivanting through Manhattan. That was our playground, was just running around Manhattan as a 16-year-old. And that's why my brain has so much info. And that's how I learned how to rap. I pretty much, in school, we couldn't do the beats. You get in trouble. So the kids would do lunch table beats.
oh,
My name's
oh,
Luis, and I'm here to say I got a pack.
oh,
And then we just rapping in the lunchroom.
oh.
That was kind of it. And I just like thought it was fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, going to school too. Everyone had they call it the lunchroom beats, right? Like, I
Oh, they
remember
were they
those.
were
Yeah.
doing that out here too. I would imagine, smacking the
Yeah,
beats on the table and rapping.
probably also with the beats. Yeah. I mean, I only know the beats that they would do, but
Yeah,
I don't recall anyone like doing freestyle. But I'm sure people were also doing it because people had the beat going on, like
Yeah.
it's all natural, right? You got to add some lyrics to to that beat if you have something going on.
And there was these other kids, they were already for real rapping in high school. This kid Jay Mills was for real rapping. This guy named Presto was like rapping crazy. Who else was rapping crazy? This guy Brooklyn Gab that was in our crew was rapping crazy. My boy Darius was rapping. Like they were all rapping very good and writing. So they would in the cipher they memorized these crazy rhymes they wrote and they would rap those. I wasn't writing anything because I'm like, I don't know. So I knew about freestyling. So I was the goofy kid that would rap about someone's shirt and rap about your glasses and make fun of the school lunch and make fun of my English teacher and rhyme about that stuff. And everyone else was real serious and kind of tough with the raps. And I was always goofy and real silly with it. But it made people smile, made people laugh. I was a little scrawny kid, so it got me out of a lot of trouble. If things got a little sketchy, being able to bust out on a freestyle or beatbox, people would be like, oh, all right. Oh, that was crazy. Cool. I'm not going to beat you up now. So that helped me a lot. But then I ended up getting good at it. And then when my friends went from telling me to be quiet and shut up to keep going, that's when I was like, oh, I think I got something here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, that's a great thing. Like, to be told that is good, especially when I can relate. Whenever you talk a lot, sometimes you get told as such. So
yeah,
it's great. But not just that, like you mentioned, just getting people to laugh, anything, right? Entertainment, comedy, like when people get to set aside any issues they might be going through and get a good laugh, that's gold, whatever it is, right? So I'm glad that's what you provide to people, right? Is that as well.
Yeah.
And lifelong memories, I'm sure too, right? Because it's not every day that you get to see someone do a freestyle for you, especially like I said at Earth Day when you were there and all that. It was really cool seeing everyone getting the spotlight, right? It wasn't just like who wants to like step up to the stage and I'll write a little song about you. It's you walking around and all that. So it's great.
That's the beauty of improv and freestyle rapping is it's always a fresh take. You can like you can make a meal that's on the same menu all the time and that's your written stuff, or you can just do that thing where you go in the closet or your pantry and be like, all right, I got these 5 things and I got to make a wacky meal out of this, like that show Chopped, that food show. And then that's what freestyling is. It's like, I'm going to make you this meal on the spot with these weird ingredients. And this is the one time you're going to have this kind of meal. And it's never going to taste the same next time you eat it. It's going to be different because there's different ingredients every time. And that's why I think it's always a fun tool in hip hop. It's not a necessity, just like basketball. You don't have to shoot 3-pointers. You could just rebound like Dennis Rodman. You could just be amazing at blocking shots like Dikembe Mutombo. But I wanted to be a Scottie Pippen. I knew I couldn't be Michael Jordan, but if I could be Scottie Pippen, who was just nice at everything, like pretty good at all of the basketball skills, I could write rhymes, I could beatbox, I could do graffiti, I could freestyle, and I had all those tools. And it got me to a good place where I was real comfortable with writing music. And then freestyling helps me write my music because I don't get writer's block. My brain just keeps going with wacky ideas, and I go, oh, that's cool. And then I use it, and then I write it down. So I haven't had writer's block in probably 15 years.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's amazing. Very few people can say that. Yeah.
Unless the beat's whack. I've been paid to be on a song for somebody. Yo, get on the song, and they pay me a fee. And then the music they chose, I'm like, this beat is not my jam. And then I have to try my best to force a rhyme on a beat that I don't like. Then I get a little stuck. But if it's a beat I like, my brain is like exploding with ideas.
Oh yeah, I could see that, yeah, for sure. Like, so you have to have the right one for it to get activated, right? For you to like have all the ideas come through.
Sure, yeah, it's like same food analogy with I need the proper like kitchen. Like if you give me a weird little hot plate and I have to cook a meal in a college dorm, it's not as fun as having a 4-burner stove with cutting boards and all the appliances in the kitchen. Like that's being in a good studio with good beats, And I had that. At a young age, I was so lucky that I had people with music, with studios that made beats that they were like, yo, you're pretty good at rapping. Come hang out, come record. And I was like, what? I get to record this now, which saved me, which I'm crazy because I'm helping kids now. It got me out of the streets. I was doing wild stuff, teenage boy in Brooklyn, getting crazy. And then the OGs were like, come record, play Mario Kart, hang out. We'll have sports on the TV, write rhymes, make beats. And that was my art. So that got me to be like, maybe you guys are doing what? You're going to go fight these guys, or you're going to go to the park and drink beers? I'm good. I'm going to go play Mario Kart and write raps. And that helped me a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh, I always say the power of art, right? It changes communities. It helps people focus on what they're really good at and get out of trouble, right? Just like you mentioned. So
Yeah.
glad you were able to find that and that they were there, right? This is why I say that we need more art institutions right around the valley, and I've interviewed a few of them already, and the more like just keep popping up the better, just let's get everyone interested in the arts and away from other things, because everyone has a talent, and you just got to discover it.
Discover it, and then you have people
Yeah.
to help you nurture it, bro. And then I didn't really have any studios in Brooklyn. The people that first embraced me to record was all the way in the Bronx. So that's above Manhattan. That was a 2-hour train ride.
Oh.
And I was taking these wild journeys to the Bronx, Parkchester in the Bronx. And the studio was above a barbershop. And one of the barbers named Tone Bone, awesome Puerto Rican dude. I met him through another Puerto Rican guy named Chris Krills, who went to that high school I went to. And these Bronx Puerto Ricans thought I was this funny Brooklyn Puerto Rican. And they were like, join us, rap with us. And I would get my haircuts there. And then we would freestyle in the barbershop. And then when he got out of work, we would go upstairs and record. That kid Presto came. He's another Bronx Puerto Rican. So I didn't realize that at the time that hip hop really started in the Bronx. I didn't care about the history as a kid. I do now. I look back and I'm like, damn, the place where hip hop started was where I started. And for a Brooklyn kid to travel 2 hours just to record music and rap, it felt comfortable. The Bronx was wild back then too. Like, I had to be like, oh snap, I'm in the Bronx. I gotta watch out. I'm Puerto Rican. I blend in, but don't. But then everyone loved me. Everyone knew me. So I will always show love to those guys: Chris Krills, Presto, Tone Bone, my buddy Efren, Mazda Chris 26. We had all these funny names for these guys. All just a wild squad of Puerto Ricans that really embraced me. And I felt more Puerto Rican too with them, because I didn't have a lot of Puerto Ricans in my neighborhood. And my crew in high school was mostly black with smatterings of other races. So to chill with all Puerto Ricans was like, I was like, yeah, this feels right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's interesting. That you went like 2 hours there, and like other places it was like an hour and a half, and all in the train. And I know public transportation's a little bit better out there than maybe in other places, but yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
dedication for sure. So I'm glad
And
that
the
you were going back
homies,
and forth.
the homies' parents would let me crash a lot too. So like Chris's mom, Lydia, she was the best and would cook for us and take care of us. And his stepdad Frank was mad cool, and his brother John was mad cool. So it's like, I had this like these families that would just take me in, because they also knew like, hey, you guys are making music, and we were smoking stuff too. We were doing that. We were teenagers, but we weren't doing crazier stuff. So I think this is the very early 2000s. This is like 2001, 2002. So this is when, things were a little wild, but you had to also make sure you knew your surroundings. That my stepdad always taught me that. Be aware of your surroundings. You don't know where you are. You just got to always pay attention.
Oh yeah, especially those years for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, especially in that area too, right? So,
Yeah.
well, let's start talking here about Rhymosaurs, because when I saw the books, when I saw the ones that you've done, I thought it was really cool that it's essentially your journey right from Brooklyn to Stockton. So tell us more about how the books came about, and just a little more synopsis of like what Two-O-Ninosaur does in the
Oh,
book.
that's this one. This is Two-O-Ninosaur. This is a different one. I have 4 books. They all know each other. So this is some of the characters on the back. That's the Two-O-Ninosaur. This is the first character, Tommy Rex, and their cousins.
Okay.
Oh, I know that. There we go. That's a little crew of some of the characters. The pretty much actually I wrote the first book in New York.
Nice.
Before I moved, I was working at Audible, the big audiobook company that Amazon owns. I was there for 5 years. It was a sick job. I loved it there. Great people, great times. The only job that let me embrace and bring my rapping to the office. Every job, I was working in offices since I was 15 with temp agencies. Every job I had, I was working in law firms and temp agencies, and I was doing paralegal work and data entry in a suit and a tie, slacks. I couldn't rap at work. There was like no way. So at the end of the work, I had my rap outfit, I had my hoodie and my baseball hat. I would go to the bathroom and change into rap mode and then go enter rap battles and freestyle in the city. That was my double life. I was like Batman, Darkwing Duck. I was leading 2 lives. Audible, my manager, Emil, I love that guy for the rest of my life. He's one of my best friends. He was the guy that kind of got me the job, got me in there. And then once people started seeing me rap on like TV shows and sports radio, like they were seeing me doing my thing and they were like, bro, you're crazy. Come rap at the office. I was like, what? Rap at the office? And they're like, we have a fun meeting, like an all hands meeting. Come rhyme there and bring a beatboxer, bring a DJ. Oh, you want to do a rap? I wrote a rap about Audible and made a music video about Audible. Then they started flying me to host stuff and freestyle rap. Like, this is my job. And it was crazy because my managers were like going, heck yeah, do it, kill it, just make a name for yourself. So I would love the Audible crew for that. At the same time that I'm learning how to rap clean at the office, I was also getting these opportunities to travel to Norway. I lived in Oslo for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And I was emceeing. I got into the world of emceeing dance battles. And that was another crew called Soul Sessions Oslo. And they gave me my first dance battles. And they're like, there's babies here, there's grandmas, you can't curse. So I couldn't curse in the corporate rap. I couldn't curse at the dance battles in Europe, which got me to really be able to freestyle and write rhymes super clean. Never dropping an F-bomb, never saying one curse. I got good at it. You know, and then I had these 2 things that were training me how to rap clean. My Puerto Rican mother that was like, I'll slap you with a chancleta if you say bad words in front of the kids. So those 2 things trained my brain. And then my wife got pregnant in 2016. And she's like, we're having a baby. And I was like, oh, snap. Uh-oh. I can't be rapping about all the crazy stuff I was rapping about in the Bronx. But I'm good at rapping clean now. How can I do it for my daughter? And I wrote the first book for her. That's kind of how it happened. Those 2 things. Corporate rap, dance battle host, Norway, New Jersey, Audible, boom. Because Audible's a book company, I had a lot of people giving me sick advice on how to publish it. I published with Amazon. The first book has an audiobook on Audible, which is kind of cool. Oh, and that was the beginning. And then that's when my wife was like, we're moving to Stockton. I was like, huh? I'm a children's book author now. What am I going to do in Stockton with kids' books? And little did I know my 209 journey would explode. And it snowballed and grew crazy here. I wrote 3 more books while I lived here. And then the Two-O-Ninosaur, which was a full circle moment as like it's my love letter to Stockton. I raised 2 kids here. I have a house. I have a backyard. I have a dog. I mow the lawn. I love it here. I don't like how much people talk smack about the city sometimes when it just has that negative rap, that bad rap for no reason. Ooh, pun intended, bad rap. So instead of arguing on Facebook and fighting the trolls, Stockton's a beautiful place. What do you mean? I was like, that's useless. Let me just make positive art. And then we put out the Two-O-Ninosaur almost 2 years ago, I think, at this point. And that was my way of saying thank you to Stockton. To show kids that grow up here. Kids that read this book grow up in Stockton and they hear their uncles talk about Stockton's whack. There's nowhere fun to go. There's no nightclubs. There's no this. Yes, there is. Stockton's whack. Like you hear your grown-ups around you saying the city stinks. You always go to Sacramento to have fun. You always go to San Jose to have fun. You always go to Santa Cruz to have fun, but you don't have fun here. I was like, you know what? Let me change that narrative. I want little kids to read a book about how Stockton is fun and it's cool and there's fun stuff to do. That was my real focus. to show my kids it's fun here, but any other regular kid that's just living here and reading that book, like, oh yeah, there is this fun stuff.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I'm really glad that you were out there trying to help with the narrative and show them what I mean. That's what I'm doing here with the podcast. So it's really nice to see that reflected in a book as well. And not only that, right? But the fact that you have it on Amazon as well, and that anyone around the country could like purchase it, and all of a sudden now they know about the 209, and maybe they want to come
Yeah,
down and like visit and not listen to all the negative things that again people always highlight because that's just some people just like I don't know get joy right and just highlighting
yeah,
the
it's
bad
too
things and it's
easy
like
to like jump on the bandwagon. My buddy Jesus, he's a great dude. He's like a community guy, and he was on the council, and he's like, what did he just get? The San Joaquin County Office of Education. He's like on the board of leader. I don't know what the hell it's called. Jesus Andrade. He's one of my oldest friends from when I moved here. Great guy. And he once told me, he's like, don't argue with people on Facebook and Instagram because people like to troll and say crappy comments about the city, and it's like a sport. It's like kind of silly and fun to do it. And I notice it too. The comments are wild. Like I'll see like a hip hop concert and they're saying crazy stuff like Ice Cube performing in Stockton, and people are like, "Uh-oh, I don't want to get my car broken into. I haven't got stabbed in 5 years, but tonight ain't gonna be the night." These are the comments I'm reading, and I'm like, "Damn, dude, Ice Cube rules." But then I saw this like funk band at Flavor Fest 2 years ago. It was Ohio Players, the roller coaster of those guys. Same comments. Not even hip hop, not even Ice Cube, not even gangster rap. NWA, funk, fun, disco, soul, and funk. Same comments. Damn, looks like I gotta wear my bulletproof vest if I want to go to this concert. Damn, I'm not trying to be at a show with crackheads. Like wild comments, and I'm just like, what is happening? What? And then sometimes I like to click on those people. Go, where are you from? Why are you saying this? And they live somewhere else, maybe nicer. And they used to live in Stockton 12 years ago, and they're still talking smack. You live in Pismo Beach now, bro. You chill. Go. You live in Tiburon. You live in wherever cute little town. You live in Brentwood now. Cool. But you're still on Facebook like Stockton's trash. It's horrible. Homeless. It's crazy. What? So I was like, yo, chill. I'm just going to do fun art and throw sick parties and have kids events. And then little by little, people are going to go, damn, Stockton's fun as hell. It's super artsy. I went to a show there and it was the best time I ever had. And then that word spreads. And then you do cool podcasts like 209 Journey and that word spreads. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And I always say, I mean, we're difference between us here in the big cities is whatever you do in the big city, there's a lot of noise, right? Whatever we do here, it can get reflected much easier, right? Because there's less things going on, and anything that you do is just there's usually not as much of that going on. We don't have that many podcasts, kind of like mine here. We don't really have too many like children's author books that are based out of the 209, so it highlights, it gets highlighted more, and you get your chance to actually represent the community like you have here in this book here.
It was for me. It was the land of opportunity. It really was because I got that Brooklyn hustle. My stepdad taught me how to work at a young age. I told you earlier in the podcast I've been working in offices since 15, like 9 to 5 work, like for real work. So that work ethic has been in my head. And then I moved here and everything's just slower and chill. And I was like, everything is a little slower here. But I kind of like that. But my New York brain and my heart is like still on the move. So anytime I see opportunity and anytime I see something I could grab or be a part of, little by little, I met the right people. And now my crew, the nonprofits I work with, my B-boys, my DJs, like everyone I work with is the illest at what they do. They all set the bar. And now if I go to another city, if I go rock in San Jose, I've rocked with DJs in San Francisco. I've performed with MCs or photographers in Oakland. And if you're not as awesome as my Stockton people, I ain't going to work with you. Like Stockton's mad talented. So now I have every piece and everything I need around me. My whole crew is like, we're like, what's those robots? Voltron.
Oh,
That's a very old reference. Or the Power Rangers, where like each of the robots would combine into the big one.
oh,
That's what we're doing. We have this like um we got B-boys up in Turlock and Modesto and Ceres, and then we got graffiti homies down in Fresno. We got all kinds of dope MCs and DJs in Lodi. We got homies in, you know what I'm saying? So like that whole Central Valley is becoming like a big Power Rangers robot and teaming up and kicking butt together.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, getting representation from like every side of the valley too. So
Mm-hmm.
glad to hear that. You have so many talented people that are working together around there. Well, talking about the book, for anyone who maybe is interested in someday publishing a book as well, what's the typical process that you have to go through from like conception of the book to actually having it available for sale on Amazon?
Well, Luis, full circle moment. Remember I was talking earlier about rapping in the studio in the Bronx and trying to record songs. I was trying to put out albums. I was rapping. I was really trying to be a rapper. And then you're an underground rapper and you're trying to get a record deal. You're trying to get your little songs you recorded noticed by a big label. Then you get signed, and now you're on MTV. And my dog's barking. Hey, listen, live podcast. Um, what happens is you want to get to that next level, or you can't, and you're just stuck in the underground. And you're kind of like, I'm so talented. No one hears me. I want to win a Grammy. I want to be on TRL. I don't remember TRL, Total Request Live. These were all aspirations and dreams. None of that happened. Now I'm a kids book author, and it's the same struggle. I published independently. I made it myself, and I'm doing so good right now. I'm doing very well, but I'm still selling albums out of my trunk like Too Short. And I want Penguin or Random House or Scholastic, one of the big publishers, to notice what I'm doing, that I'm killing it out here and traveling all over the world. And then they go, this is sick. How many more ideas do you have? And then you get brought into a big publisher. And now I'm the next Dog Man, Captain Underpants, Llama Llama Red Pajama, Dr. Seuss. That's in the future, maybe. I didn't want to wait for that. And I felt like people were trying to scam me left and right. And I was already went through that. As a rapper, I was like, I've been through this. I know all these tricks and these schemes. I'm not falling for this nonsense. I'm doing it myself. It's called Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP. And I know a lot of people don't want to support Amazon and Bezos and he's taking over the world, but they do give opportunity for indie people like me to put out their own book. So Bezos, I'm actually wearing Amazon khaki shorts right now, and they're mad comfortable. I have a kid's book on Amazon, and it's kicking butt. And I had to buy a humidifier for my kids who have allergies, and it showed up today, and I ordered it yesterday. Sometimes it's convenient. So any authors out there, Kindle Direct Publishing, it's pretty sweet. You do need to do all the work. That's the hard part. You're not a big publisher, so you need to have someone illustrate it or draw it yourself. You need a graphic designer to design the cover and the pages and turn it into PDFs, which you upload. Then it has a page proofreader that checks all the dots per inch and makes sure that the bleed and the framing is perfect for printing. It's very meticulous, and it's good because then it makes sure that the finished product is a real kid's book. And then it gives the indie author a chance to sell it on your own page. People order it in Ohio or Alaska. They print it and ship it, and I get royalties. Direct royalties, no middleman. And then if I want it printed, I'm allowed to order it at the author print cost, which is nice and cheap, a little cheaper than printing companies. And I don't have to order 1,000 at a time. I can order, I'm doing Earth Day. I'm emceeing Earth Day in Stockton, so I'll order 30 books because I know that'll hold me down for that event, and it's not breaking my pocket or emptying my bank account. So it's all independent hustle. It's just like when I was a rapper and making my own CDs and throwing my own show. It's the same hustle, but books. And the kids love it. The people love it. I'm working with school districts. It's crazy. I'm doing so good. But I see that there is a next level, and I'm like, ooh, I'm so close. I can't. I feel it because I want to bring that big industry here to Stockton. If I'm the next big kids book that's on Penguin, or I'm in like those, when kids have a book fair.
Oh yeah.
right? It's like,
Well,
yo, look at the pamphlet and pick the books you want. Your mom buys. I want to get in that. And then that's when people are like, yo, that's that dude from Stockton. This is Rhymosaurs. He's in the Scholastic Book Fair. Then I'm bringing that to here. That's one day that I hope it happens. If not, I'm good. I'm doing great. Independent. Authors, put your book out. Don't wait for nobody.
yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, because a lot of creators like the idea just stays in the head, and
Yeah.
nothing ever gets published, right? And maybe it was the next best big thing, but people let the uncertainty, right, of how is it going to do and all that. So I'm glad that they offer that for authors, and that I mean these days there's just more distribution options, right? I mean I can't think like 20, 30 years ago it was a lot more challenging, right? Because you had to do a lot
Mhm.
more of that work of printing yourself and staying
Oh my
local,
God,
trying to
yeah.
get the bookstores. So, like you mentioned, right? I mean, Amazon has its good and bad, but when it comes to helping new creators like put their work out there for the world to see, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great that they offer that option, especially the printing one, because I feel like that's the most challenging one.
I still have to do the work of getting it in the hands of people to get it in like Best Buy and Target and Barnes and Noble. That's a whole nother step. That's like there's these other companies. One of them's called Ingram Spark, I think, and you have to pay a fee. It's this whole thing. And I was like, I don't want to do that. It didn't feel right. Um, you still need a lot of approval and you still need a lot of people from higher up and gatekeepers to bring you in. And I'm like, I'm not going to wait for that. I'm just going to keep doing my way, and it's someone's going to notice it. Plus, a lot of mom and pop shops in Stockton are super dope and sell my book. So like Mr. Otto's bookstore on Miracle Mile, Sweet Life Boutique on the Miracle Mile, Caterpillar Children's Boutique on Yosemite Street, and then a couple of other really cool spots around town. They have my little books on stands selling amongst their other things. And I have a presence. Families walk in, kids walk in, and they see my books on a shelf at a mom and pop, and they're supporting a local author at a local store. And it's not that I don't want my thing in Target one day, but this feels right. It feels right to help each other on a small shop small vibe.
Yeah, because like you mentioned earlier, right? I mean, you don't see are 209 reflected in these nationwide books? Not yet, but I know you'll could be the one to change that. But just for them to see, their local community reflected in the book, and that's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. That's something that like back when I was a kid, like I could never imagine what happened back in that day, right? Because you'd be reading books about this is going on in like Los Angeles, right? San Francisco, right? That's where like the book would
The
take
big
place.
cities.
But
Yeah,
you're
maybe
like,
San Diego.
yeah, like I don't relate to that. That's just
Oh,
it
you're
seems like a
right,
little
dude. My children have a little kids book called Goodnight San Francisco. It's a cute book. And it's like all about San Francisco and going to sleep. It's amazing. No one would have a good night Stockton book because then of course parents will be like, "What's the good night Stockton book about? Doing donuts in the street and shootouts and getting in fights at the gas station?" Like, all right, what are we doing? We don't have to talk about that all the time. But you know what's crazy though? Actually, I'm a Mets fan, but I grew up liking the Yankees when I was real little. Full circle, Aaron Judge grew up in Linden, and then he went to school in Fresno, and then he's on the Yankees. He has a really cool organization called All Rise Foundation, and it's in and they I just applied for a mini grant. I might not get it. I don't know. Who cares? I tried. They put out mini grants for community leaders and stuff like that, and one in Fresno, one in the Bronx, and one in the San Joaquin County, which counts Stockton counts. And there you go. There's an example of someone from the 209. He's a super famous baseball player, but all those big athletes have like charity events and fundraisers and or nonprofits. And the All Rise Foundation is for literacy. It's for reading. They have a book club like Dolly Parton style, where they like if you become a member of the book club, Aaron Judges they just donate money and send free books to kids. So I just submitted my book to them. I don't know what happens if they like it, but it's like that's you know what I mean? Like I'm so close. Like these are things that are reachable. It's not a goal that's too far away. It's something I can actually manage.
yeah. And all it takes is applying, right, and seeing seeing how you do, right? Because you never know,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
being from San Joaquin County and doing what you're doing too. So hopefully you can get that for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's all you hear, and in all the different places that you go to, right? It's all those things that you mentioned earlier, and so of course, I think if there's more books written about the 209, let them be good ones, not not ones that are gonna talk about all
yeah,
those things, right? And not just like children's book, but heck, anyone want to do like a fiction book, but of the great things, right? Or of someone's adventure in like
yep,
different
yep.
places and all that. It makes me also want to be an author now. I feel like I need to like look into it. I've never really been as great of a writer, but heck, someone needs to, write a pretty good fiction book about the good things about the valley and someone's adventure here. So
Yeah, there's a poet. Tuliberg Press put out a poetry book last year, and it's all poems submitted by Stockton poets and writers, and then into a compilation. So that's another example right there. Just really cool poems about Stockton, positive ones, and different takes from different people of all walks of life. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there, man.
well, speaking of Tilburg, now that you mentioned them too, tell me more about like different ways that you've collaborated with them. Tilburg Press being a local printing company here at Totonin, right?
They're great. Yeah, they do printing. They publish people. They're big into poetry. They do letter pressing, book binding, typewriting, zine making, paper making from scratch. Anything hands on and like with the world of books, they're the best at it. Helps kids get off the iPad and get off the phone. Uh, when I first moved here with that one book, I just started doing research. Like, just I was home with the baby, so I'm just like, who do I talk to? Who has this? Who has that? And that nonprofit kept popping up, and I was like, who are these people? And I tried like emailing and sending them messages, and of course they don't know who I am, so I didn't get much response in the beginning. But then I started to build my brand, and then I met Tuliberg, the head of Tuliberg, Paula Scheel. I met her son at a birthday party. Like these old friends of mine, we were both at the birthday party, and we were just talking about hip hop. And he was a cool hip hop dad. He had a young son, and he just loved the same hip hop I loved. And I was like, damn, that's cool that this guy listens to underground rap like me. And I'm like, I write kids' books with rapping and hip hop. He's like, what? My mom does publishing. I'm like, cool. So he threw in a little, hey, this guy's awesome. He saw me at the library a couple times. I used to do that stock market event. That was like my first big pop up, having like my books out and coloring for the kids and like in the community in public. Thank you, Amy and Anne, for giving me that chance to be at stock market, which was such a beautiful, fun gathering of vendors and stuff. And he kept seeing me there. And then Tuliberg would have a booth, and I'd be over there by the kids zone. And then that's when I finally got cool with the people that ran Tuliberg. And my first after school program, I think, was 2019 ish. Yeah, at Sierra Vista. So it was down there in like the housing authority of San Joaquin down there for like at-risk youth. Awesome, beautiful vibes. And they got grant money and I got paid for it. So that was my first like, wait a second, I could teach kids and read to kids and teach them rhyming and play music. And what happened was I got these flashbacks to the OGs in the Bronx that took me to the studio. They got me to stop messing around and do some hip hop. I was now doing that for these kids because they got some wild uncles doing street stuff, or they see their cousins trapping and selling and whatever the hell. And if that's what they see all the time, and then they have this new role model who's showing them positive rapping. And so it hit home because I was like, damn, I'm doing for these kids what those guys did for me. But Tuliberg let me grow and it expanded. And then they would just get these different grants. Hey, I got this grant. I got this fundraising thing. I got this. What can you do? What can you do? And then the ideas started coming in. And actually, they funded the last book. I was sitting on this idea for a couple of years living here. I almost had one version of the book come out and collaborated with someone else. And then COVID happened and everything just... But Tuliberg came to the rescue because they were like, we want to publish more authors from Stockton. Boom, I got money to pay the illustrator, Charles Ugas. With that same money, I paid the graphic designer who took my book to the next level and added all these like frames and backgrounds and color that I never had in my other books. Shouts to Meek Sneak, Vibrant. He's gonna design my books probably for the rest of my existence because he did that thing where he set the bar. He reached another level of what my books could look like, and now I can't go back
Yeah.
to what they, you know what I'm saying? So I kept getting funding through them and then doing more school visits, assemblies. They funded the book. I emceed their fundraiser last year. They have an annual fundraiser called Fully Booked. And this year, Luis, September 27th, I am the honoree, which I did not see coming when she told me. So like, you're being honored that night for all your work the past 6 years. I was like, what? I feel like this is just the beginning. I'm getting honored now. Let me do the next big thing and honor me then, but I'll take it. And I'm very proud. And I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing without them. So forever, thank you to Mia and Paula and Tuliberg and Alicia and Mia and all the homies that have been working there, Monroe, and the past people that used to work there too that helped me, Frankie and Jessica, and there's a lot of people that work there in and out. Good people. So support Tuliberg, support local nonprofits. They're really just trying to help the youth out here.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations for that. And I'm glad that they're doing that for the community, right? Because we definitely need more people reading these days. Because you said it right? People got to put their tablets down, phones down,
For real.
and read more. Whatever it is that you're reading out there, but like just like take the time to do that. And I know it's never easy in this life nowadays, but people find the time, then you could read a book. And I think it's really magical when you read a book. After you finish a
Sure.
book, it's just a different feeling. I think that if people don't do that, then you can never experience that feeling of reading a whole book and being so in tune with the story, whether if it's a fiction book, just whatever the story was, if it's a book that's going to teach you something, just being so enlightened at the end of the book to say like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, or so inspired, I feel like.
Yeah, letting
And
your
it's
imagination run wild, learning some history or something. It's important, man. And it's funny because I work with this other nonprofit in Sacramento called 916 Inc. And someone that worked there once said, reading levels, right? So like, oh, you're a third grader, so you should be at least at a third grade reading level. And kids fall behind. COVID was a big part of that. But one of them made a very good point. I don't know how long summer vacation is here from school, 2-3 months ish.
yeah, about
Two and a half.
2 months. Yeah.
Let's say 2 months. Now, most kids just want to have fun in the summer and they're not trying to read or do any homework. But if you completely stop reading every summer, you're missing 2 straight months of reading. And now do the math. 10 years, 10 times 2 is 20. No, that's horrible math. 6 years.
Yeah.
6 straight years of ignoring reading every summer sets you back that many months of that you haven't been reading. So it's like you're almost a full year behind when you could just be catching up in the summertime. So at least we can make it fun with rapping and dinosaurs. That's my thought. Just in general, make reading fun so that you don't just drop it in the summertime and you're actually interested in it. I tell people to pick any rhyming book. Pick any book that rhymes and play beats, and it's mad fun to try and like rap it. Oh, and the kids think it's hilarious. So, not just my books, any rhyming book. Give it a shot. It's super fun. Even like nursery rhymes. ABCs, Twinkle, Twinkle, whatever.
Yeah, with your own beat, with your own style. I could see that. Yeah, no, and I'm really glad that
EFGHIJKLMNOP.
It's good for memorization for sure too, right? It's like trying to memorize something, like just sing it, right? Because how many people like know their favorite song by heart, right? So
Yep.
so it helps, and then that memorization will carry you through. So if you go to college, till the end of college, because it's so helpful to have that good memory. And I know a lot of people that have used that method, right? You just imagine it's a song, memorize it, and then once you're needing to reflect back on that when you're taking a test or something, you got it.
I before E except after C.
Yeah,
that's one.
So,
it works.
Oh yeah. There's a lot more. I'm trying to remember them back then, but I remember there are a few of those too, and some teachers are good about saying like, hey, just like sing it and, and you'll know it.
Yeah,
But there's a great way, like you mentioned, to read books, to feel like, just feel that excitement right over reading. And certainly, like
yeah,
doing it in that style is a great way, especially when you're doing all these rhymes and all that. Um,
yeah, yeah.
well, I want to know a little bit more about all the different like events that you've been a part of around the 209, even some that have already passed. But I know some of these happen yearly, maybe twice a year.
Sure.
But always great, for the community to hear more of like what goes on, maybe what's going to go on in the future as well. If there's any events, maybe within the next month or two that you want to share, just
Word.
anything going on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, dude. Part of it is me being invited to stuff, which is awesome. And then sometimes when I get the funding from the grants, if I'm not visiting schools with the money, we'll just throw a one-off event. We'll throw a Christmas event. We'll throw a music event for kids, and then so we're doing our own events too, which is super fun with my team, with Revive the Vibe and the Grind Gold crew, and we're just throwing our own events, literacy events with hip hop, with DJs, with breakdancing. It's crazy. The ones I've been doing like recurring, Family Day at the Park has been amazing. They gave me another first chance in the beginning. Um, my sister-in-law's dance studio, Elevate Dance Company, let me do workshops there and teach summer classes there. Tuliberg has events that I would do. I did Flavor Fest a couple years, once as a vendor, twice as a performer, the big Flavor Fest festival. There's another one that I missed the past couple years because I'm in Norway, but I've done it a few times. Great Valley Book Fest in Manteca. And because I'm building something in Stockton and it's like a radar blip, it's like boop, boop, boop. It's hitting the other cities. And I'm getting booked in San Jose. I'm getting booked in Oakland. Dude, I did a school assembly in Mendocino. I
Oh
had to
wow.
drive through the wild redwoods
Yeah.
in the rain with
Oh.
crazy 15 mile per hour signs with wild curves with a death drop.
Oh.
Nuts. And I just learned how to drive out here 6 years ago. I was like, woo, here we go, Mendocino, baby. And it was beautiful. 4 hours through the mountains and stuff. And we rocked the school, dude. And the guy that booked us saw me here. He saw what I was doing here, and he trusted a Puerto Rican from Brooklyn who lives in Stockton, a Mexican DJ, my buddy Mace the Tableist, who grew up in Stockton but lives in the Bay, and then Tino, who I think is Mexican, the B-boy. He's from New Mexico and goes to school at UOP. So that was cool that he just trusted like three, even though two of us are transplants, he believed in three Stockton dudes to come on a road trip and rock a small town. That was beautiful for me because of the narrative thing. Stockton's scary, it's evil, it's violent. Well, why is a school in a sleepy coastal town of Mendocino booking guys like us to teach their kids?
Mhm.
That means something, right? So yeah, these are the events that we've been working on. And Hyro Day, which is crazy. I started doing the Kid Zone for the Hieroglyphics crew, which is based out of Oakland, like legendary 90s boom bap rappers, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Casual, Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity. That's why I just did an event with them just the past weekend. Kingmakers of Oakland. So my Stocktonness is doing so well that it's starting to spread to the whole Northern California. And I'm going to other cities and I'm traveling all over crazy, taking it on the road. So yeah, we got the fully booked thing. You can still get tickets, I think, if you want to support Tuliberg Press, get a nice little eat a baller dinner, wear a suit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your organization wants to just get a whole table. There's going to be an auction. It's fun, jazz music. You can go to that. Is it September 27th? Yeah, September 27th. It's a Friday at St. Basil Greek Church. And then I'll be honest with you, Luis, I got so much stuff coming up. I could just break out the calendar right now and just start yapping. But, my Instagram's there, Rhymosaurs. We post all the flyers. Follow us on IG. We're always posting in stories and post what we're doing next, where we're going to be. Tons of free events for kids. Come through. I love everybody out here, man. It's the Stockton artist gave me a giant hug when I moved here. They were like, "Where you from, Brooklyn? Oh, you rap good? You write kids books? Welcome. Get over here." Whoop, hug. And then it was like the photographers, the DJs, the poets, the rock bands, the ceramics people, the painters, the poet. I said poets twice probably. All of them were like, welcome. You're one of us now. People, anyone that moves from another place to Stockton and goes, and they do art, they're like, damn, this open mic scene is beautiful. The music scene is beautiful. The DJs are crazy. We have some of the illest DJs here. DJ Kenzo, Expo, Tone Dub. I could just name 10 DJs in a row that are like killing it in other cities, traveling, getting booked, doing big things. And that's the homies. So support your local peeps. Stop hiring whack quinceañera DJs from another city when you got sick DJs right here.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you mentioned all that because it's often maybe thought, like you said, you're from the 209, like yeah, I'd rather go with someone from the Bay, right, or all these different other cities outside. But the fact
Yeah.
that they're keeping eyes on what we have going on here is a big thing, right? No matter what, like kind of creative you are, whatever you're doing is getting seen outside of our general area. And in your case, right, I mean, you're getting work outside of the area. They're trusting you
Word.
versus maybe trusting other places that, like you mentioned, those their local spots, right? Their local vendors that might be there. They
Yeah,
prefer to go with someone who's out the area because they know talent when they see it, and
exactly.
they don't care where you're from, right? They're like, hey, I'm not looking at you based on where you're from, right? And
It's what
they
you can
take that
bring to the
aside.
table.
They don't listen to what all these trolls, right, like you mentioned, are saying
Yeah,
on
yeah,
these social media pages. They're like, no, I just I look at the person that I'm hiring. That's all I care about because that I don't care where they're at, and surely if they're living there and they're really awesome, that must be a really awesome place,
sure.
right?
And
I
if you're
mean,
living here and you're having events, you don't need to outsource. If you just dig a little deeper and ask around, you'll find the right thing you need here. Even like I mentioned Kenzo earlier. My buddy Kenzo and then Tony Gladney, he MCs Stockton Kings and he MCs Stockton Ports, which I do as a side hustle too. I'm like a backup MC for the Ports, so like in the games. But Kenzo and Tony work for the Kings, and a friend of theirs approached them from the Warriors to do like story time reading for kids, like how like sports teams will go to visit a school. And they both were like, we work with the Kings, we can't work with the Warriors, but we know a guy. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to recommend me. They didn't have to tell her that they knew an awesome dude that could do a good job. They could have just been like, no, thank you, can't do it, peace, find someone else. But both of them, just because we're homies and we've been supporting each other for 7 years, they both of them recommended me. Hit up Zeps, Rhymosaurs. He's nuts. He'll kill it. Trust me. She hit me up. I've done 4 to 5 gigs for the Warriors. It's called Read to Achieve, and sponsored by Ross Dress for Less. And we go to different schools. We did something at the Chase Center. All kinds of same thing. DJing, rapping, breaking, b-boys, story time. The cheerleaders are reading my books. I'm chilling with the NBA players. It's crazy, bro. Just a stay-at-home dad from Stockton, rubbing elbows with the big wigs. And they pay good.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So what's up? Give me that bread and we'll help the kids.
Yeah.
And I volunteer for free too. I'm not saying it always got to get paid. Oh, hi, puppy. My dog wants to eat dinner. She can wait.
Oh. Hey, you can show the dog on camera too if you want to, since it's a video.
She's a husky lab. She ain't gonna get up here.
Okay. Yeah. That might be a challenge. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you have a supportive community. I've heard it. I've heard similar stories from others in the art community where one often maybe can't do something or they're booked already, and then they reach out to their next fellow community member who also does the same thing that they do, and that's really great because that's how we all grow together. And you know
We
what?
got
It's like if
each
you
other's
can't
back
do
out
it,
here.
then yeah.
Mudville, baby. Port City. What else do they call it? There's a lot of fun aliens. The 9. I love it. Oh, another thing, Luis. Because I'm from the world of graffiti, rapping, breaking, the 4 elements of hip hop. What am I missing? Rap. Oh, DJing. That's the 4. DJ, MC, graffiti, and breaking. That's the 4 pillars, the 4 elements. And there's sub stuff. Beatboxing, beat making now, fashion, sneakers, jewelry. Sure. That's other knowledge. That's another one. People say 5 elements. No. The 4 elements. That's my whole world now. I started to notice. I'm like, hey man, how come some of the murals and there should be more graffiti like the cooler, bigger cities have? And then I just dug a little deeper, and I'm like, who decides that? And it's the Arts Commission. And then I saw it on LinkedIn. At the same time I was researching it, I saw on LinkedIn they were like looking for positions open on the Stockton Arts Commission. Volunteer once a month, and you go to meetings at the city hall, and you sit on your commission with like 8 other people. I think we have 8 or 9 people now. And I've been in it for about a year and a half. And I got sworn in. I got my badge. I got a cool polo shirt. I go to the meetings once a month. And it's super diverse. There's an Asian dude, Max. He's awesome. And then there's like a mixed Latina lady. And there's 2 sassy black ladies. And then there's a skinny art teacher dude. And then there's a couple, my buddy Maurice and Irie. They DJ and rap and sing and paint. They're just like a super ill artsy couple. And that's the commission now. It's mad diverse of age. It's diverse in color. And we're approving different kinds of art, and the grants that are getting given out, the murals that are getting chosen. It's up to us. And it's all people that live here. And I'm just proud of them because we got more money last year. We got the money doubled for the first time in, I think, 20 years. Oh. So shout outs to Ben, shout outs to Chris, who kind of run the commission and run the meetings. Tammy, she's dope. I love her. Those are the people that are bringing and COVID slammed it and just almost took it away. And we came back stronger, more money. We still want more money than we're getting, but we got it. We went a step above. Oh, there we go. The arts grant deadline is the 27th as well. So if you get to see this episode before the 27th and you want to fill out some paperwork, there's art grant money available. And then the commission, I'm not on the committee this year. I'm on the commission, but I'm not on the ad hoc committee. But there's a group that is going to go through all the submissions and pick. It could be anything. It could be dance. It could be you juggle. You could do puppet show. It doesn't matter. Art. You can make metal art with wires. I don't know. Submit. Maybe you get the money. Maybe you do your project for the community. So these are the things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like come from the streets with the hip hop, but then also hit the city level and be like a double agent, you know, like coming from the underground, but then seeing how it works up here in the corporate world and whatever, and then find that middle ground so that the two can come together. And then we beautify the city with art and music and love.
That's awesome. Yeah. I always say you can never have enough murals in any city, right? And now you're looking through the 209 and there's more and more of those, coming up, and not just any mural, right? But one that's like representative of the community. So when we get people from the outside coming by, visiting our cities, like they get to learn a little bit more, right? Through different visuals and taking those pictures, sharing them, bringing us more people out here, and just making a lot of bland walls actually have purpose to them, right? Not just a wall that's just there, right? Because typically those murals get upkept, right? And everything's a little more cleaner there. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. And just if we can have art in the entire downtown of Stockton, let's make it happen. Make it
one day,
every
man.
little thing art.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I got one more thing for you here. Sure. I know you briefly mentioned earlier that you had a few like goals in mind, right? But I want to know, when we look at 5-10 years from now, if you could do anything, say that a grant just came your way and it's like as much money needed to do whatever you would want to do, what's like a goal in mind that you would have that, hey, this is a dream thing that in 5-10 years from now would be awesome to do or to have?
I have 2 main big goals with, if I get just some funding lands in my lap, that's an outlandish amount of money that I get to apply. One, and it might be happening already with another group, but I just want to help and be a part of it. I want to have a literacy. Family Day at the Park is a literacy event for kids. I want to do one or be a part of one that focuses on all the people in Northern California, not even just, forget Northern California, America or the world. Anyone that's teaching kids with hip hop, I want to have the means to bring them here, and this be like an annual, once a year hip hop literacy festival with different DJs and rappers that used to rap that now do books, and like there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of nonprofits that help with rapping, not just me. There's so many that do it. If I could have them all here and have like a kind of a convention with keynote speakers and an exhibition, like that would be sick, dude. One day I'm gonna pull that off. Number two, and this is actually, I had a dream about this, and I'm like, I gotta make this happen. Work on animation of my books so that if it can get really popular on YouTube or maybe TikTok or something with kids, that it gets so popular that the streaming services start hitting me up like, yo, what's up with the Rhymosaurs cartoon or the Pixar movie? Then I have the power to tell them, it's a bidding war. Hulu wants me. Netflix wants me. HBO Max wants me. Paramount Plus, Apple Plus. There's too many streaming services, but they all want my thing. And then I tell them all, the first one of you to buy a building in downtown Stockton and I'm part owner of the building, so I can work close to my kids and build an animation studio in Stockton so that you have people from Netflix or whatever, whoever says yes, Amazon Prime, I don't care who it is, buy a building and build an animation studio in downtown Stockton, I'll sign with you. Boom. And then that brings, boom, oh my God, yo, Hulu is in downtown Stockton. What? Animation studio. Then Whole Foods comes. And then Panasonic comes. And then Sony comes and starts doing PlayStation stuff. That's where my brain is at. I'm like, yo, that can happen. So who knows, 5, 10 years, 20, I don't know. Next year, something crazy happens.
Yeah.
I get the Aaron Judge grant, and he comes to Stockton, and everyone's like, "Oh, snap!" Even though he's a Mets fan, he's chilling with Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah, hey, at that point, it's like you let teams go aside, right?
But that's really something I would love to do. I would love to bring an animation studio to Stockton that's cranking out the next Pixar films and DreamWorks, that kind of stuff here.
That would be amazing, and like you said, it could be a thing, right? Because nowadays, I mean, you put up an animation on YouTube, you get a few subscribers, it starts blowing up, and before you know it, yeah, I mean, everyone wants to do a special animated series. I mean, it's happened to a few YouTubers already, right? These companies contacting them, and then you find out, they start off YouTube, and now they have a little like special movie or like TV show series that they purchased, and
Llama. You know that one? Llama Red Pajama?
Not that, I haven't heard of that one, no.
Good book. Okay. The book blew up. It was doing okay. Llama Red Pajama, cute. Ludacris went on a radio station like 5-6 years ago in LA, and this radio station would give people books, and they would have to read the book and rap it, which is kind of funny because that's what I tell people to do. He reads Llama Red Pajama. Ludacris kills it, and it exploded and went viral, and now it's a cartoon on Netflix. Boom.
The idea that you had earlier about the animation stuff here, I hope it happens. I mean, that would be amazing, and we have a lot of talented people that do great animation. There's animation classes that are offered at some of the colleges here, so just having that'd be big. And like you said, other ones would want to come by as well and be like, hey, wait, they're there, I want to be there. And it would just it would transform the city a lot. We'd keep a lot of people here. They wouldn't have to move out. More people would be inspired to get into the arts. So I really hope it happens. Yeah, I'm cheering for you. I hope you get that grant that can help you kickstart that and make it happen there in Stockton.
Thanks, man.
But I actually got one more request here. If you wouldn't mind, just because I know, again, you do different raps, and hearing you at the Earth Day Festival, I thought, hey, if it'd be great to do a little rap about the Two-O-Nine Journey podcast. So how do you feel about doing that? Bro.
We can do it. I work for a company called Event Rap, and I have all the right equipment. I can play a beat through the Focusrite audio box. Shouts to Event Rap. They fly me all over the world to I do professional rhyming for other businesses. I'll be wearing a suit rapping at like business conventions and data science keynote speeches. It's wild. It's so cool. It's such a good job. Thank you, Baba, and all the MCs. Is that my dog again? Quiet, dog. I'm about to kick a rap. All right, here we go. This is my
Awesome.
DJ Sam song. Let me start it from the top. 209 Journey. Yeah, everybody knows. Shouts to Bert and Ernie. 209 Journey. You cannot concern me. You don't want to step to me, bro. You could never burn me. 209 Journey. Shouts to Bert and Ernie. Yeah, you know I'm just wrecking the speech. I like Bert and Ernie because they're from Sesame Street. Shouts to Elmo. This is my elbow. I like New Balance sneakers when they have Velcro. I like Adidas too because they got the shell toes. Yo, I'm chilling with Luis on the mic. I'm a beast. And I also have a book about brushing your teeth. In the back, listen when I flow, when I rip it. You have a cool soccer team, I think that's when they kick it. Sacramento Republic with the FC football club, cause me, I'm an MC. I'm Puerto Rican, but you know I'm feeling excellent. Shouts to all my peeps in Stockton that are Mexican. And everybody knows that I'm saying, yo, what's up? Shouts to Stockton because they have the best taco trucks. Carnitas, carne asada. Maybe get a little torta or enchilada. Maybe get jamaica. Maybe get horchata. Maybe also get a little side of ensalada. Well, I don't know why I'm rapping in Spanish. I'm practicing. Because when I be kicking rhymes, it's not an accident. And everybody knows, look at the things that I'm achieving. 209 Journey, don't stop believing. Get it? That's the song. And you know how we flow. Now they have a new lead singer that's Filipino. Not the old guy. It's okay because they just switched. Yo, I'm chilling right now with my man Luis. Hey, yo, we're sick with the flow. Yeah, because you know I bust a rhyme. You can go to Stockton or you can get some wine. Because you know the journey is from the 209. That was all made up freestyle straight up off the mind. Yeah, baby. This is fun.
Hey, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. Wow.
DJ Samsung killed it, bro. DJ Samsung, Android on the ones and twos. Good
awesome.
stuff,
Hey,
man.
yeah, hey, that's great. The beat was awesome. Everything. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. People are now getting to hear that as well. Not just the people watching, but people hearing got to also hear the beat there. So yeah, appreciate you doing that, and we're gonna be using that for the promotion for this episode. For just yeah. I might even contact you and be like, hey, you want to help me out with the intro or something in the future if I
I've done a few podcast intros for sports podcasts. I got you, bro. We can work something out.
Awesome. Yeah.
Feeling it.
Yeah, I have other shows that I do as well. I'm like,
sweet, man.
It'd be nice to do that. But yeah, well, Orlando, this has been really great. Inspirational to hear, the things you have going on, the future plans. Just keep going at it, keep representing us here. Well, it's always really awesome when you hear people that weren't from here that are completely embracing the 209 because you guys bring this experience from other places that help us grow here and that help inspire others. Because with you, like you said, being someone who has a lot of things going on and you're always trying to find the next thing going on, you're inspiring people from here who some of us might have a slower pace in life, but in certain aspects of your life and in this circumstance, like what you're doing, it's great, man, to do that. It's great to be different places. It's great so I'm glad
and the last thing I'll say is anywhere I go, I wear Stockton on my hat and my shirt to let people it's like armor. So even this is a cool, right? I bought this shirt at an event. It's called Garmented Up, crazy pink skeleton. You know what I'm saying? I wear Grind Gold. I wear Fave Star. I wear Infinite 209. I wear Stockton Port stuff. Shouts to Cali Just One. He be getting me these crazy Mudville 9, throwback Mudville 9 with Mighty Casey. So like everything I wear when I leave to perform or host in other cities or countries, anywhere I go, I do laundry and I make sure I got all my Stockton stuff. Because I can't hide my accent. People know I'm from New York. And I'll wear a Mets jersey and it's like, oh, he's from New York. But it's fun culture shock to be like, his accent doesn't match what he's wearing. And then they think I'm mad gangster because it says Stockton all over my clothes. And then they meet me and they're like, this guy's the best. He's so fun. So fun advice. If you're leaving out of town, be proud of Stockton. Support the local clothing designers and wear their stuff when you're on the red carpet or wherever the heck you are.
Yeah. Hey, great advice. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
Peace. That rhymes.
It did. Yeah. Worked out great. Well, yeah. Thanks again, man. And I hope to see you at whatever event I'm able to go to that you're at.
Cool, man. Okay, I'll send you some of the flyers when they come out.
Perfect. Awesome.
Peace.
Thank you.
Later, brother.
Well, thanks again to Orlando Zeps, Molina here for being on the podcast. Awesome that we actually get a song here on the show. And like I said, I'll be sharing that on Instagram, on the reel that gets shared along with this episode. And thank you again to him for putting that together and for actually like playing the beat there too. It was an additional bonus thing, which is awesome. But great. Well, if it's your first time here on the podcast, check us out on social media. You can find it at the 209 Journey on Facebook and Instagram. By the time this gets posted, maybe well above the 700 follower mark. Right now, just around there. I think I just passed the 700 follower mark. But I am actually trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year, which I think the pacing I've been having, especially this past month, I think I'm going to get there, maybe even past that mark. But my goal is to pass that mark, keep going, get more people here to know about the podcast, more people to find out about it, to invite guests on, to maybe them themselves want to be on the podcast. Orlando actually reached out to me on this Instagram page that I have for the 209 Journey. And then that's how he was able to be here on the podcast. But overall, goal here is to get more people from the 209 on here talking about what they have going on. So whether you're from the area or if you're not from the area and you're listening to learn more about our people here from the 209, you find out more about what they have going on and you go support them as well. That's all I ask too. If you see them at an event, if you get a chance to talk to them, if you maybe can't purchase something, all good. But if you can go and maybe talk to them, tell them like, hey, I heard your interview, maybe ask them a few questions. If you have a few questions to ask them, that would be phenomenal. But at the very least, if you can go follow them on their social media pages, each and every one guest that I've had on this podcast, that would be amazing. I'm sure they would really appreciate it. Like their posts, again, give them follows, share their posts on your stories, all that. All that makes a big difference for all of our community, and you doing that really helps them out a lot. Because we all know the algorithm, we know just how that functions, and a few likes, a comment goes a long ways. It might not seem like it, but trust me, leaving a comment, sharing something on your stories, it can maybe help their content be discovered by someone who maybe wouldn't have otherwise have found out about it. So again, it's the power of social media and just giving a like or share or comment onto something. So check that out. Also, check this podcast out at the 209journey.com so you could listen to past shows, to watch the episodes, especially again, if you don't want to download an app, if maybe you're getting rid of deleting an app on your phone, there's your way of easily being able to do so, because we all have browsers on our phones, or if you're listening or watching on the computer, I mean, computers have browsers. So it is a really easy way to be able to, again, check out the episodes, whether you're listening or watching. And there's an option for you to also watch the episodes on there, because I do have a videos section there on the menu, and that's all the videos from YouTube. But if you do get a chance, it would be really awesome if you do go on the YouTube channel as well for the 209 Journey and actually subscribe to it. Check out the episodes there as well. I'm still trying to grow that page quite a bit, because in the past I didn't really do any videos. They were mainly just the audios on a video, but I want to post more video content on there. Eventually, maybe get to a point to be able to monetize that channel. And the only way I'll be able to do so is if I am able to get more subscribers. If you guys check out the videos there as well. So it really does make a big difference, but it would be really great to be able to do monetization on there. But in addition to these video episodes that you guys are seeing here on the YouTube channel, I'm also going to be doing other episodes. Won't be podcast based, but are going to be based more on me going around the 209 and doing these little videos of where I'm going to and all that. So keep an eye out for that, because you are going to be seeing more than just the episodes that I'm recording. So if you're listening to the episode now, you won't just have these same episodes, because I understand maybe you heard it already and you're like, well, I already heard the episode. Going back on there, like it's the same thing that I'm hearing again. But you do see the visuals though, so there is that component that is with the video ones. But if you're maybe someone who's like, I already heard him, I want new content, don't worry, because that YouTube channel will have videos that won't have audio on the podcast. So there will be that reason or additional reason to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And also, if you're on Facebook, maybe if you're not really much of a YouTube viewer, I am posting more of the episodes on Facebook as well. And those videos that will be on YouTube, I might be also putting on Facebook as well, because I know, again, some of you might prefer to watch or share the videos on Facebook. So I do want to offer both of those options for people to have two different ways to watch the videos of the 209 journey. So check it out, give it a follow and all that. I do have a lot of ideas in mind. So keep an eye out for more videos. But if you do subscribe or you follow, you can get notified when those videos get posted. Awesome, y'all. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode, whichever way you consumed it. I really appreciate all the new follows on social media and the existing follows as well. You're helping us get more listens every time I post a new episode, and more people finding out about the 209 journey, guests reaching out, and all that. I do have quite a few guests already booked, so thank you all for doing that, because it really helps me out when I'm reaching out to guests, especially when people follow and I check my follower list and I see what people have going on, and then reach out and invite them there on the podcast. But if you yourself want to be a guest, again, fill the form out on the website on the 209journey.com and let me know as well. I've had a few people do that, so it is a great way for you to be able to share your story ahead of time, so I know what you have going on as well. But I hope everyone has a good morning or good night whenever you're watching or listening to this, and you'll hear me next week here on the 209 Journey podcast.